by Amir Khan. Dan Rayfield just talked about it, taking on the 23-0 Danny Garcia.
Yep.
Your thoughts on matching up with Garcia?
Yeah, Garcia is a tough guy. He's 23-0. He's unbeaten, so he's never tasted defeat before. He's going to go into this fight very confident. And also him being a world champion, beating a veteran, Eric Morales, in his last fight, I think he's going to be very confident going into this fight. So, it's going to be a tough fight for me, but we know what to do. We're going to train hard for this fight, yeah.
Teddy, what do you make of that matchup?
I think it's a good sound matchup.
Definitely.
And, I think it's good for the fans. Neither one of you guys disappear on people. You're right there. You're smart boxers, but it's not like you're running all over the place. You're there to fight. You like to control range. You got that great jab. Nice right hand, too.
Not bad.
And you know how to control distance. I'm sure you're going to be looking to control the outside a little bit.
That's right, because we know Danny Garcia likes to come forward, put the pressure on at times, so it's all about catching him in between them shots.
Yeah, making it your fight.
Exactly.
Hey, let me ask you something. In light of your fight being canceled with Peterson because of him testing positive for PEDs, do you look back at the first fight with him when she got the decision as maybe he cheated?
Well, yeah, he's already admitted taking testosterone in the first fight. So basically, I think he cheated in the first fight. I could feel the power was different.
That's what I was going to ask you. Did you ever feel the physicality that you said to yourself, preparing for the fight, and then in the fight saying, wow, this guy's stronger than I thought?
I saw videos of his previous fights against other fighters like Victor Ortiz and them guys, and the way, they hurt him. And I caught him with some good clean shots, hurt him in the first round twice, he went down. But the way he come back, I've never seen many fighters who are faced come back the way he did. I was catching him with everything, but he just kept coming back. I think that's what testosterone does to you. It makes you brave. You can take shots, but I think it's a risk to not only his life, but a risk to mine as well, because he cheated basically in that fight. Yeah.
Well, Berto has just been found. Obviously, his fight with Ortiz was canceled. He was found dirty with PEDs too,
right?
And that's why that fight was canceled. Do you feel that there's a problem with boxing, that a lot of fighters, a lot more than people realize, are using it?
Definitely. A lot of fighters probably out there probably do use it, and they need to be very careful, because boxing is a professional sport. And what we want to do is clean up the sport of boxing. Now, by doing that is doing these random drug tests, not saying no to them. And that's why I've advised for this next fight against Garcia, we have a random test.
Amir, let me ask you about the focus of this weekend. We're going to see Kelly Pavlik in moments, and then tomorrow night we see Pacquiao and Bradley. Obviously, with all your time at the Wild Card Gym, you can give us some insight. Without asking for a prediction, what are people missing when they try to break down this fight? What's the one thing that you say people aren't talking enough about this in analyzing Pacquiao and Bradley?
Well, it's going to be an amazing fight, don't get me wrong. You've got Manny Pacquiao facing someone who's in his prime. Now, Bradley is in his prime. I think he's been out of the game a little bit longer, whereas he's not had as many fights where he should be fighting quite oftenly. He's had a lot of time out. But, he's fought some big names, Bradley has. He's beaten them big names, and he's undefeated. Like I said, any undefeated fighter is dangerous. Now, he's fighting Manny Pacquiao, who's also one of the best fighters on the planet. He's pound for pound one of the best fighters, so he also holds that title. So this fight is interesting, but I really think Manny Pacquiao is just going to be that. He's going to have the extra edge because of his experience. He's been in bigger world-class fights. He's been in front of that big stage. Now, has Bradley been in front of a big stage before? No, he hasn't.
Well, undoubtedly, this is the biggest stage.
This is the biggest stage, exactly, and it's going to be a full house, so we'll see how Bradley controls his nerves. But overall, I think it's going to be a good fight. It's going to be good for the viewers, good for the fans, and I give the fight Manny Pacquiao.
July 14th, Danny Garcia.
Yep.
We'll have continuing coverage of the lead-up to that fight. Amir Khan joining us ringside. Our main event is coming up next, and it includes